In this video, I'm gonna ramble on about two main things and the relationship between them: TikTok and the music industry at large. I've talked about some of these concepts in videos before, but there's so much information to discuss here, and it really keeps changing and evolving every day. P.S. Stay tuned till the end of the video for a very special announcement for the channel. For those who have no idea what TikTok is, the short explanation is that it's a video sharing app with user-generated content, and people upload anything from comedy skits to dancing videos set to popular songs, and anything and everything in between. So when you're making a TikTok, you can upload your own sounds, or you can look through a database of music to use, which, like I said, you can use popular songs, there's no copyright infringement. And whether it be for comedy, dancing, or whatever else, sounds and songs often become associated with trends. One person choreographs a dance to Super Lonely by Benny,
I'm just a loser, shouldn't be with you.
And then next thing you know, all the other famous TikTok dancing influencers are doing it, Jason Derulo and Emily Ratajkowski are doing it, and eventually there are 10.8 million videos using this song. Not 10.8 million views, 10.8 million different TikToks using Super Lonely by Benny, amounting to well over 7 billion plays. This song was released in November of 2019, and it wasn't very popular. That original dancing video comes out in February of 2020, and the track really starts blowing up around March. Super Lonely is now platinum in the US, hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify and Apple Music, and so on. In my opinion, this is a good example of what TikTok can do for the music industry. Benny was an artist on the rise in 2018 through 2019. She wasn't big, but she certainly wasn't a nobody. I had downloaded her EP Fire on Mars pretty soon after it came out. Glitter and Soaked were catchy, and I thought she was one to watch. Pretty soon, because of TikTok, her road to stardom hit the fast forward button. She was on her way already, but with the help of this app, she became a bigger, more prominent name much faster than she would have otherwise, and she deserves it. She's talented. But when we look at the biggest quote-unquote TikTok songs of the last couple years, there's definitely a scale of who I'm really happy for and who I'm less happy for. I think larger scale but similar examples to Benny's would be musicians like Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion. Pre-TikTok virality, they were already pretty famous. Their music wasn't some huge secret, but they weren't exactly topping the charts either. Then we have Doja Cat's Say So getting its own TikTok dance trend, and boom, triple platinum, VMA Song of the Year nomination, and literally topping the Billboard Hot 100. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion, except she's had a few big ones. Captain Hook had its own trend, her collaboration with Cardi B, WAP, was recently huge on the app, and then Savage is one of the all-time definitive TikTok songs. All the tracks I just listed got massive boosts from their TikTok fame, and Megan is one of the biggest rappers in the game right now. With Doja and Megan's examples, I think it's justified, and I'm happy for them. Then we get to something like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. This dude has already been a superstar for years, and his song gets its own TikTok dance with millions of people doing it and sharing it around. This one I'm kinda neutral on. It is a genuinely great song. It's no wonder why these kids wanted to dance to it and everybody wanted to recreate the dances for themselves. In the grand scheme of things, it's basically just an example of the rich getting richer. The Weeknd is a superstar, this gave him even more of a push, but there's no real malice here. The malice occurs when superstar musicians get greedy and try capitalizing off of this whole process. Labels hear what kind of songs are going viral on TikTok, and then you get Drake and Justin Bieber making music that sounds like its sole purpose was to go viral on TikTok. That's not good. For one, because it worked. Both of these songs did well on the app, and it really shows you how easy it is for someone at the top to cheat the system, and that's terrifying. And two, they're bad songs. I like a lot of Bieber and Drake's music, and I want them to release the compelling art that I know that they can make, so it sucks hearing some talented musicians blatantly selling out. Benny made a song that was fun and high quality, so that girl made a dance to it. Same with Doja, Megan, The Weeknd, and countless other musicians whose music is likable enough to become a TikTok trend. But you really know it when you hear it when someone tries to go viral on this app. To branch off of this a little bit and move on to something else, we talked about successful musicians that get even bigger off of TikTok fame, but what about musicians that you've never really heard of before you hear them going viral on the app? What happens to them? Here are just a few examples, but trust me, there are probably hundreds of these by now.
I don't wanna fall asleep, I don't wanna pass away. I've been thinking. She said, you're a player, aren't you? And I'm
up. Is it fat enough? When I throw it back.
He's falling down at the party. Wait.
Go party girl, she just wanna have fun too. They say you ain't white.
So this is tricky, and admittedly, a lot of what I'm gonna say is me predicting what hypothetically might happen to these people, but hear me out. First and foremost, I'm happy that all of these aspiring musicians have found some kind of success. I'm sure they've been working really hard, and now because they had a track blow up on TikTok, they're getting millions of streams on that song, probably some decent money for the first time, and maybe even attention from magazines and labels, but I'm also very scared for them, for a few reasons. Okay, so I made a video a little while ago about how one-hit wonders aren't really a thing anymore. If a musician is good enough to make a hit song, with the combination of streaming services, social media, and record labels having this stuff down to a science by now, they can usually sustain their career. But that video was made with the idea that people hear a one-hit wonder on the radio, or YouTube, or a Spotify playlist, not through an app where you are mindlessly scrolling, your attention span is at an all-time low, and you've heard a bunch of people use a 15-second snippet of the song within the past couple of days for this dance, so you say, whatever, I'll add it to my library. Yikes. Not to sound overly pretentious, but to me, that doesn't sound like a solid way to build a legitimate emotional connection with the people listening to your song. And then to add on to that, your song isn't the cha-cha slide or something. You were not looking to make a dance tutorial song because that's super gimmicky. But what do all these people associate with your track anyway? That TikTok dance. So now there's even less of an emotional connection to the listener. You're getting put in a box and you had nothing to do with it. You're no longer a limitless musician who can do whatever they want. People only think of you as that guy that made that TikTok song. Drake, Justin Bieber, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja, even Benny, any of these thriving musicians that get a boost from TikTok, they won't have to deal with this. People already know of their other music, or they have the backing where their other music is going to get put in front of you. But I have a hard time believing that many of the not so popular musicians from that compilation are gonna be able to transition this sudden fame into an actual career in music. First impressions are hard to shake, and I imagine that the TikTok one-hit wonder label will be rough. And this brings me to my final big point that kind of encompasses the two main things that we've discussed so far: high-profile musicians manufacturing TikTok fame, and the tough road ahead for TikTok one-hit wonders. TikTok has a definite major impact on the world of music. This app is pushing songs to #1 on the Billboard charts, and there is no denying that. So when I tell you that right now the music industry is experiencing the most growth since the late 90s, it's fair to assume that in one way or another, TikTok has a part in that, right? The music industry growing at this kind of rate may sound like a good thing, and it's definitely making a lot of people a lot of money, but there are severe downsides to this kind of period. Growth in the music industry is basically telling you that labels are getting better and better at commercialization. Record companies are perfecting how they're ultimately selling you a product. So with big data, the TikTok algorithm, social media, and your every single move online being tracked 24/7, it's easy to say that major labels know how to sell you a product right now. But something unique about the music industry boom of the late 90s is that labels were spending more money and investing in talent than ever before. And for every superstar success story, there were hundreds of musicians that made a little bit of noise, got scooped up by a label, and then they were dropped within a few months. From my perspective at least, doesn't it seem like this will be the fate for most of the TikTok one-hit wonders? Labels are going to invest in what's hot right now, but as soon as they realize that most of these musicians got popular off of 15-second snippets, and hey, maybe they might not have what it takes to last, they're gonna get kicked to the curb before they even know what hit them. So while TikTok is having a profound effect on music, it might be hurting things much more than it's helping. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching, but before you go, I want to show you something that I'm very proud of. Hi, I'm D-list YouTube personality Harrison Renshaw, and I run a channel called Alpha Media. I'm here to tell you about my new merch and all the cool designs you can get on outloudmerch.com/collection/alpha-media. We've completely revamped the site, and now you can get t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tapestries, beanies, stickers, and more. We've got all these different color combinations, so many designs, and if you want to see them in action, here are some very attractive people wearing my stuff.